If your brand feels polished but somehow still forgettable, you have a problem. You've got the product lineup, the visuals, maybe even a professionally designed logo, but when people land on your site or scroll your feed, something is missing. Maybe it feels a little cold or too transactional. Maybe it feels like a beautiful showroom, but that looks more like a museum and no one really wants to touch a single thing. So my question for you is, what do you think is the missing piece here? From my experience, it's usually not your branding. Oftentimes it is your storytelling, because you don't have any storytelling. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Doris. I run an editorial studio called Inspired Publications that helps fashion, beauty, and lifestyle brands to turn their content into independent magazines and publish them straight to the international newsstand by skipping the annoying pitching process. We are not a PR agency and we're not in advertising either, but we help you to avoid these pitfalls where you are wasting big money on overpriced PR retainers. Today, I'm going to break down why your brand might feel flat and how to use an editorial strategy to fix it. Because people don't fall in love with products. They fall in love with voices, values, and stories, and most of all, they fall in love with people. So yeah, let's get right into it. So when I'm saying you have a problem, then maybe I'm being a little bit overdramatic, but I mean specifically that your brand, especially if it's a founder-led company, you're not relatable anymore. It doesn't feel authentic. And that means your brand voice might be just too perfect. So if you're planning on having a luxury line or luxury brand, that is all good and clear. But if your tone sounds like it was written by AI or passed through 7 rounds of revisions, it's going to feel lifeless because the person in the brand is gone. So if you want to do it right as a brand, then sound like people that actually run the business and not some bot. So ask yourself, does your content sound like a passionate founder who believes in what they're doing? Or does it sound like a stale press release with zero personality? You don't have to be quirky or over the top. You just need to be authentic. Write how you talk. Use language that feels like a conversation and not like a corporate copy. For example, or instead of saying, "We are excited to announce our new collection," you can try to make this into I made this line because I was sick of every candle smelling like vanilla or lavender. I wanted something that feels like my actual life. And that shift, it builds trust instantly because you can tell that there's a human behind it. And then the next thing is you're talking too much about your products. This is the most common trap I find because creating content that is all product here, launch there, sale here, discount code there, it has no personality. It can't work. And I get it. This is your focus at the end of the day. Your goal is to sell a product and to make money. But when your feed starts to look like a catalog, it just stops feeling human and people, they don't fall for it anymore. Your audience knows already that you're selling something. What they want is a reason to care about you. There are plenty of similar brands like yours out there, and I don't even have to go in a specific niche because there's thousands of beauty brands, thousands of home interior, thousands of fashion. So why should they care about you? Instead of saying, here's what we sell, start saying, here's why this exists. Talk about the moment that sparked the idea, the challenge behind the scenes, the belief that drives your work. Show the people behind the brand, the problems you're trying to solve, or the values you're unwilling to compromise on. People connect with stories. Products come second. The next issue could be that you don't have an editorial calendar, but you have a very full promo schedule. If your content plan looks like launch, sale, then yes, your content probably feels cold. It's not that you're not posting enough. The problem is that you're not saying enough. So editorial content doesn't mean blogging for SEO or writing long captions just to hit a word count. It means curating your ideas the way an editor curates a magazine, the magazines you want to get into. So, you can create themes around it, stories and intention, and that makes a completely different lineup. Think beyond product updates and create a mix of content that builds emotional connection. So for example, that could be a letter from the founder explaining your mission, or a behind-the-scenes story that shows how your products are made, a customer journey that mirrors your audience's life, for example, or a piece about something you deeply care about that doesn't have necessarily something to do with the product, but maybe it's a very, very, trendy topic in your industry right now where you can participate as an expert in a brand that stands for those values. So when you lead with meaning, believe me, the sales will follow. And then last but not least, you're only using shallow formats. What I mean by that is you can only say so much in a caption. I know there's a lot of brands out there that rely heavily on social media. And while social media is great for visibility, if you want depth, longevity, and actual resonance, you need formats that can hold more than just a few lines of copy. That's where newsletters, magazine features, long-form blog posts, and even like a full-fledged brand magazine come in. These formats allow your brand to breathe, make space for context and voice, and you're being original. And then more importantly, they make sure that your audience is coming back, because now you're not just a brand they scroll past, a brand, who wants to sell them something. You are a brand they read because they are interested in what you're saying. Here's the takeaway. You don't need to change your brand completely. You only need to add a narrative layer, one that moves your audience emotionally, builds trust, and keeps them coming back, not just for the product, but for your values and because they like you. This is all I have for today. And if you're building a fashion, beauty, or lifestyle brand and you're ready to stop chasing content trends and start building something with real substance, please follow along or sign up for my free newsletter on my website, inspired-publications.com, where I will share tips just like this one every single week. So let's warm up your brand and give people something to fall in love with. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.